Okay, and last thing I need to do is read our hearing script, which basically just covers the procedure of the hearing, then we'll get started. So this is the December 1st, 2021 session of the Zoning Hearing Examiner docket. Excuse me, my name is David Sturkey. I'm the Zoning Hearing Examiner for the City of Cincinnati, and I'll preside over this hearing. The case before us today is case number ZH20210166. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and opposing parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. The hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the Zoning Hearing Examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any opposing party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing, unless someone submitted evidence or testimony in the form of writing prior to this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant, the applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. If there were anyone here from the public, they would then have an opportunity to present after the applicant had presented its case. I'll give our zoning plans examiner, Wes Munzel, an opportunity to provide any additional testimony in addition to his staff report. In the event that any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to the application being considered, the applicant will have an opportunity to rebut that testimony and or argument in opposition. And then finally, the applicant will have an opportunity to make a closing statement. So for our purposes here today, I'm just going to let everyone on the applicant owner team speak about the project, why they think it's appropriate, why I should grant these particular hillside approvals. And then, and you guys can orient that however you want. So one or all of you can speak. Then I'll give Wes an opportunity to provide testimony, and then you guys can make any closing remarks. It looks like Wes is recommending approval on this, so I don't think you'll have any opposition here today unless someone from the public shows up during the hearing, in which case you can respond to that. Okay, after all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or to make any comments. I may also refuse to consider hearsay testimony or documents. That's generally evidence you want to introduce that consists of statements made by someone who is not present here to say them themselves. So I may limit that if there is any of that testimony. In the event of any technical difficulties or unforeseen circumstances with the video conferencing technology, I'll do my best to troubleshoot those on the fly, but to the extent there's something that can't be cured or prevents us from meaningfully going forward with the hearing, I may continue or postpone this hearing at my discretion. Okay, last thing we need to do is swear in all of our witnesses. So if you intend on providing any testimony here today, making any comments, asking any questions, really doing anything other than just strictly observing the hearing today, then you need to be sworn in. So if that is you, if you could make sure that you're off mute, raise your right hand. I need everyone to answer out loud. You solemnly swear the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So to the Conies, is that a yes?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Can
Great.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I just need everyone to answer out loud. But okay, great. So everybody is sworn now. I'm going to go ahead. Who is going to be taking the lead on the presentation?
Well, I'm thinking homeowner. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So yes, the crux of this project is we've been for several years thinking of improving our backyard, particularly the living space up behind it, and so we finally found the means to do that, and we hired Jay, contractor, to do so. We talked about what we wanted, and it's mainly just extending a very small deck to the width of the house and a little bit back on the property, and then also extending one of the rooms off of the house onto the deck. So that's kind of the structure of the general, like the high level structure that we're talking about building. It involved adding some supports and everything. And our back of our house, we live on Woolper Avenue, so we're on a hill. So the back of our house also is part of that hill, which introduced these hillside variance questions. So that's why we're here today. And we're hoping we can, with I think the plans we put together, I think are viable, and we're hoping to have this have a discussion today to talk about it. So that's kind of a high level overview of what we're planning to do. We're thinking it'll not only will improve our home, it'll improve the neighborhood, it'll update the house, make the house value improved. The room we're planning on improving is the kitchen, and a lot of these houses have small kitchens, so we're making that the house value bigger that way, and improving the living space outside, which right now is pretty much just a backyard that is really not usable. So we'll make that a little bit more livable out there. So that's kind of why we're doing it.
Okay. Thank you. Susan, Coney, anything from you?
We enjoy living in Clifton and want to make the house accommodate our family better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great. So I may have a couple questions, but I'm going to go ahead and let Mr. Goldfarb and Mr. Menzel add anything that they would like. Mr. Goldfarb.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, hi, good afternoon. So to add what John was talking about from a builder's point of view, I think coming into the space, meeting the family, understanding their needs. They love being in Clifton, to reiterate what John said. And also, and they wanted to stay in Clifton. And so they want to grow their family, and they hired me to help them to do that and design a space that fits not only their needs, but also the design of the structure. Not only will I think it'll enhance the John and Susan and their growing family, their needs, but also the asset to the not only the house, but also to the neighborhood. And I believe that it'll also be an asset to the city in that it'll enhance the hillside development. The valuation of the house will increase, and that therefore will benefit the city. But, and I think what we've done is we've taken all necessary avenues to make sure that we dotted I's, crossed T's. There was a wall. First of all, we brought in an engineer to check because it's on a hillside development and the hill is always moving. Brought in an engineer to verify that the soil, the earth can handle what we're building. So that's why Bill is here. But so there is an existing wall. We're gonna replace that wall and to handle our development, and then we're gonna work to build the structure. And I believe that the zoning rules that apply to this house have obviously are antiquated, and I believe strongly that typically I was very surprised by this, because typically when I go check the setback is usually never an issue. It's usually the side setbacks. And if I don't, I've never had this situation, because I've always built things within the width of the house. So it never was, setback was never an issue, but I understand. So I was a little surprised by this. And then, Mr. Weston helped me to understand what was going on. And so I believe that we have designed a very tasteful presentation that fits everybody's needs. I think that's enough.
Okay. Just a quick question, and this is for anyone. Is the new addition going? Did you mention that it's wider than the principal structure?
No, if I can take that, no, it's not. I was saying that it's not wider. It's less. It's less than the width of the house.
Okay, so it's not extending the existing setbacks of
Correct.
the home, of the existing home. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
But the understanding was, and where the issue is here, is that it's a smaller lot compared to the other lots, and the setback requirements that have not been changed in many years is what part of the problem is. So we had to verify that zoning.
Got it. Okay. And the rear, it looks like the rear. Oh, is this? Oh, okay. Is the rear is the mosque? Okay. Is that? I think that's.
Yeah, that's it.
I think that's how I recognize you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Hope that's working out okay. Yeah, so is the rear is just like this wooded area though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, Wes, did you want to jump in here and provide any additional testimony?
Hey, yeah, I would just want to highlight, Jay mentioned it kind of, but the two lots abutting are wider than the subject lot. And so that skews the averaging calculation. And that's why they needed to get the variance, because of that larger setback, based on the wider lots next door. And then also they're using piers for the foundation support. They're not excavating. So for the hillside review, that's a positive, because they're not going to be carving out the hill. They'll be minimally, drilling holes and filling the holes with concrete. So I just want to highlight those two facts. So.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. And I assume this won't impede or block any views from neighboring properties or from public right-of-ways?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Okay. Let's see. That might be all I have. Okay. Any anticipated adverse effects at all?
No.
Okay. And the project won't create any cliff-like vertical slopes or excessively high retaining walls?
No.
No. Everything that we're doing is going to be the same as it is. The wall is going to be the same, but it'll have a substantial footer, so it'll be enhanced, but it won't be greater than the existing.
Gotcha.
I may add to that. The wall that's there right now is a wooden wall that is getting old. And the wall that Jay would be replacing it with would be a stone wall the wall would have to be replaced anyway, eventually here soon. So that is a significant improvement. It's something that would already have to be done anyway. And it will be the same height. So, nothing will change except make the wall more supportive.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, great. All right. Anything else, guys? I think that's all the questions I have. Anything else in closing or otherwise before we adjourn?
I'll say one more thing, that the setbacks for the proposed deck and addition are larger than their current setbacks for their house. I think Jay was touching on that, but just to clarify, the new proposal is inset from the existing foundation, side walls.
Right. Okay. All right. Anything else from anybody in the hearing?
I'm good.
Okay, great. Well, so thank you all again for your time and your testimony. I've had a chance to review the application. And based on that review and on the testimony here today, I'm going to approve the project. So what I need to do is actually formalize that decision in a written document. And so I'll be working on that. I do have a pretty significant queue right now, so that does usually take about 2 weeks. As soon as I finish those decisions, I put it into a PDF, and you can, and I'll email it to everyone in the hearing today. And you can start working with Wes at that point to get any necessary permitting to get the project started. If there's any, you can apply for those permits, knowing that this will be approved. You can apply for those permits and get that in the permit queue. That could, if you haven't done it already, to help expedite the process. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Wes, did you want to add something?
Just that I think they did apply for a permit already. So I've got that number here, but I can't actually approve the permit till David writes the decision in writing.
Yeah, so once that email comes through, the written decision, you'll be able to work with Wes on that approval. If you guys have any questions in the meantime, want an update on the status of the decision or anything else, please feel free to reach out to myself or to Wes, and we'll be happy to give you that update.
Thank you very much.
Okay, any other questions right now?
I have one question.
Sure.
Within the next 2 weeks, once you write the written letter of approval and you send it to Wes, will you automatically then proceed to approve and send off the permit, or will it be in the computer or the system, or how does that work?
Well, since we deal with a lot of permits and a lot of paperwork, you might want to send me an email when you'll be sent the decision as well, just to remind me to approve it.
Okay.
And I'll do it immediately, but
Okay.
yeah.
And then it'll be sent over to building department, correct?
Well, I'll click approved in the system, and then I don't know what happens after that, but
Okay, okay.
maybe you call the building department to say, hey, I
yeah,
noticed zoning approved it. Is this
Yeah.
ready to go? That kind
Got
of
it.
thing.
Understand, yeah. But we need the building permit as well, so I can take it from there. I'm more than happy to follow up then. Thank you very much, Mr. Sturkey, appreciate you. Thank you, happy holidays. I'm sure you made all of our holiday a little bit nicer right now. Thank you very much. Wes, I appreciate your contribution and your guidance. And, you know, my burdening phone calls didn't bother you too much.
Nope.
It was certainly a learning curve there.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
You've been great. You've done everything that you need to do. So thanks for
Appreciate
your efforts there.
Yeah. Look
Thanks,
forward to it.
everyone. Have a
Thank
good
you now.
evening. We
Yes,
are
sir.
adjourned.
Everyone for your